So, my wife left me and the kids, actually, and she was very calm about it too. There was no screaming, we hadn't had a fight, she just stood in the kitchen and said, "I can't do this anymore, Mark, I need to find myself again." I was sitting at the table, peeling an orange for our youngest, Emma. I was used to her theatrics after 7 years of marriage, so I just felt tired and I didn't question her. It wasn't the first time she had suddenly decided to take a break from being a wife and mom. Every few months, she would call me at work and say she wasn't going to get the kids from school and that she wasn't going to get dinner or anything, and I was to expect her back in the morning. So at first, I thought she needed a weekend, maybe some time with her sister in Nashville. But by Monday, the call came. "I'm not coming back. I've been thinking about this for a long time." She said she felt like she was suffocating, said I didn't see her anymore. That being a wife and mom had swallowed her whole. I asked, "What about the kids?" She sighed and said, "You're their father, aren't you? Figure it out." And that was the last I heard from her. Her number was never available after that call, and I had no way of reaching her. She didn't call, didn't send a message to the kids, nothing. Not even her family knew where she was, though she called them often enough, and when she divorced me, she did it through a lawyer. Eventually, our last, Emma, 2 years old, stopped asking for her mummy. Jake, our oldest, got angry and quiet. I picked up less shifts at the mill and learned how to braid hair from YouTube. I kept the house clean, showed up for every parent-teacher meeting, and learned how to cook halfway decently. 3 years later, she came back. She showed up out of the blue at my workplace, looking a little haggard. She said she wanted to talk, and she waited until my shift ended. Then we sat in my truck and talked. She said she was ready to be part of the kids' lives again. I said okay, but only if the kids wanted her to be a part of their lives. Jake was now almost 14, Emma was 5, but they were still her kids, so she was free to try. But then the following week, I received a summons to appear in court. She filed for custody, alimony, and child support, claimed she gave up 3 years of earning potential and that I had stolen custody without proper procedure. She even told the court I'd alienated her from the children. I had to hire a lawyer. I brought every receipt, every school report, medical bill, every proof that I'd held it all together, and she didn't even have a job. She said, "I left for my mental health. That should not be punished." The judge looked her dead in the eye and said, "You abandoned your family, ma'am. You have no legal or moral standing to demand support from the man who raised your children alone." She became belligerent then, crying and cursing at me and at the judge banging with his gavel. When she wouldn't simmer down, he held her in contempt and committed her to prison with the option of a fine. It turns out she didn't even have the money for a fine, and since I didn't have any to waste, I let her sit in jail for 48 hours. The case was dismissed. I expected her to come over to the house after she was done with her little stint in jail, but she never showed up. When I reached out to her mother, I learned that she didn't want the children, and that she had only come home to get some money from me because boyfriend, the real reason why she left me, had debts and the people were after him. Luckily, I never told the kids that she came back, so they didn't have to suffer her abandonment twice, but I hope she is happy with the life